Hello, one and all, and welcome to Behind the Glass, your weekly automotive podcast hosted by two rather uninformed enthusiasts.
No.
I'm Sam from the YouTube channel Seen Through Glass,
I'm Tony from Gravelwood Car Sales.
and you can watch us each week. We hope you enjoy the episode. Well, hello, everybody. You join us at Gravelwood Car Sales.
Yeah, shithole. Hey!
It is actually a dumper. You know, I was setting up earlier.
Yeah.
And I moved some of the furniture around, and a tarantula crawled out from under your rug, like legitimately tarantula.
Yeah. Well, the one of the valeters, he feeds him, mate. No. It's resident, mate. I charge it rent and everything.
Oh, I stamped on it.
No.
Yeah, he's dead.
Did you?
Yeah, Terry's dead.
Oh no.
Sorry, mate.
Did you really?
Yeah, genuinely killed.
Oh, mate,
It
he's
scared the hell out of me.
I mean, he's gonna he probably resigned now. The valet, he's gonna be so angry, mate.
I'm sorry.
We'll have to get him a rat or something.
So yeah, basically, if it's a little bit echoey today, if you hear a lot of things going on in the background, if you're watching and you see people walking behind us, it's because it's a working environment. Here we are in your handover bay, stuff's happening.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's due in, mate, but that doesn't mean they won't come in.
Yeah,
So,
get some tire kickers in.
we've
That
bish
would-
bash bosh this, then we've got something else to do.
Well, we're double stacked today.
Yeah, where are you going now?
So yeah, we're doing back-to-back episodes because I'm off on a trip. Can I be honest? I will be honest. I'm not nervous. I'm just like, there's a part of me just like, are we ready? I'm taking the Challenge Stradale down to Monaco. It should be fine.
But should be fine, mate.
But I haven't driven it since I did the big road trip. Actually, no, to be fair, since I took it to the Museum.
You do it on your own?
Yeah, by myself.
Oh, you
Well,
have made a mistake.
No,
really.
no, I'm not like dog alone. So basically, I go from here. I got to go to Luxembourg first. I have a meeting with a bank. Oi, look at me. Yeah,
You've got so much money, you got to open a Luxembourg account.
Genuinely, I bank in Europe now. So yeah, anyway, that's a story for another time. I'm off to Deal and Drive, who obviously hooked us up with our
Nice
loan car
lads.
for the great lads,
Yeah.
and we're doing a really fun video. I am revisiting the 4C. Alpha 4C.
Oh, the one that you crashed into the van.
The van crashed into.
Oh, that old
Don't
story.
even
I
start.
remember that, yeah.
In inverted commas, my first supercar, which
Yeah.
I haven't driven, I think, for at least 7, if not 8 years.
Wait. Do you think that a 4C is a supercar?
No, but I
joking.
think when I bought it, when I owned it, it felt like a supercar to me.
Until you put your foot on the accelerator.
Hold on. To me, it felt like a supercar for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
And also, it sort of launched the channel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people come up to me and say, I started watching with the 4C.
Oh, right.
And I haven't driven it since, I say 7 or 8 years. So I thought it'd be fun to go back and see now that I've got my dream car. So I used to spend my life in the 4C chasing Challenge Stradales. Now I've got a Challenge Stradale. Let's go and see what a 4C's like.
Oh, no, it's going to happen. You're going to come back and go, oh, my God, I want a 4C. You're going to do a shmee and buy another 4C. Say he bought his Clio back. Yeah, that's what you're going to do.
But the thing is, jokes aside, Tony, have you looked at 4Cs on the used market recently?
Yeah, I bet they're still 40 grand, 45 grand. Yeah. They're still the same money.
Same money.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I sold mine for, but mine was a launch edition as well. They don't come to the market very often.
All right.
I mean, what? I'd be in the cash, mate.
Lovely, yeah.
Unbelievable. So that'll be good fun. Then I drove down to Monaco. We'll do some back roads on the way there, I reckon. And I've got the Artura Spider press launch.
What way are you going to go? You're going to come off
I don't know. I think just do the standard. Yeah, come off at what's it called? Not
Like Dijon?
Yeah, no. After Lyon, what's the little town? What's the? Oh, I've forgotten all my words.
Not
now.
Chamonix.
No. Let's have a look.
You have to tell us, mate.
It's going to be in the video, so I don't have to tell you right now.
Well, I
but
wanna
I'm also going to get up early on one of the days when I'm down there
Right.
and launch it. Because I had an interesting chat. I don't want to go up to Grenoble. Hold on a sec, where do you turn
Nice though,
off?
Grenoble.
Super nice.
Yeah. Beautiful roads around there.
I'd sent some... Le Claps. I'm going to go near Le Claps.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, where'd you turn off from Lyon? Oh, mate, this is a boring segment now. I'm basically going to... I'm going to have a great
You're going to
time.
go left at
Yeah.
Leon. All right,
I'm
mate.
going to have a good time and get in there. And then as I say, when I'm down in Monaco, I'm going to take it up into the hills various times and have a laugh. McLaren Artura Spider launch. I've got the Audi S3 press drive. It's top marks Monaco. I might be going to drive some kind of cool resto mod. Anyway, so like stuff's happening.
All over the place.
All over the place, busy. It's going to be a great time. And then Vicky and my daughter are flying down to meet me. So they'll be joining us or joining me for the last 4 days or so. We're going to a little rent a car to get around with them. So anyway, big old trip. And I'm super excited. I can't wait. It's my first drive down south in the Stradale. But I just, I'm like, ooh,
I've got a
still early
prediction.
days. What's your prediction?
What day are you going?
I'm leaving tomorrow morning at 4 a.m.
4 a.m. Go on the train.
Yeah. Luxembourg by lunchtime.
Luxembourg by lunchtime that day. So that's going to be Wednesday.
Yeah.
I reckon by Thursday night you're going to text me and say I broke down. I mean, I'll laugh.
I hope not.
I
don't know.
hope
I
as well,
shouldn't be negative, but obviously it's the start of a journey with this car. With my old car, I was so confident. Everywhere I went, I knew we built up to it, and I'd had all this time and this experience, and I knew all the work. But really, I think I've done 2.5, maybe I've done 3,000 miles or 2,500 miles since I bought that car. 1,000 or so of those miles was that trip through Luxembourg, Paris, etc. But I just, I just am. I'm a little bit nervous, mate. So I got
Aldous has looked over it.
Yeah, no, it's just been there because actually I had to
it'd
have
be
the
fun.
windscreen replaced. I had a whole load of work done.
Yeah.
We got the engine timing done, put the ECU on. Anyway, so like it's good, but let's see. Anyway, so that's why we are double stacked today. So yeah, we're doing this episode here in the handover bay, which is particularly empty today, which I guess is a good thing.
Well, I've sold the 2 cars behind.
Well, that's very exciting because one of them is the Range Rover Sport SVR that's been here for 4.5 years.
Yeah, it has literally been nearly a year.
Yeah.
So I've took a hefty deposit on it now. So
And a hefty loss.
oh yeah, mate. Like telephone number.
Literally.
Yeah.
That car is your mortgage gone, isn't it?
Yeah, gone. Yeah. No, I had to remortgage to pay for it.
Yeah. And then the Spider, 718 Spider, which obviously took on the Portugal tour, that's about to go.
So I took a finance application on it.
Wow,
So
look at
subject
you.
to finance. Yeah.
Yeah, and usually this Hanover Bay is full of like 5 or 6 cars. I never know how you fit them in here, but when we've come and done episodes here previously, it's been rammed. Now it's kind of empty, hence why it sounds like we're in a sort of
I'm really
forest.
short of cars, mate.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot coming, but I just need to logistically got to go and get them and get them advertised and get them prepared.
Yeah, so not to moan and complain, but we're up against it today because you had to go and collect a car this morning at 8 a.m. Then we meet here, we're doing this, and then we've got a Rate My Ride episode, which I think is going to be quite a fun one. Let's not say anything more about it. But a car that I've driven, but Tony hasn't, that we're coming with you or coming out to you next week. So yeah, busy old time. Anyway, there's a big elephant in the room, a big topic we need to get straight into, Tony.
Okay.
It's the 992.2. Because obviously it got revealed last week.
Yeah.
But bloody Paul Wallace came and hogged all of the microphone time.
Literally, did we speak in that episode, really? I mean, I said about 3 words, which is unlike me. I normally don't stop
You were
talking.
so quiet. You were so quiet. You texted me afterwards being like, I didn't say much there, did I? I was like, well, it's hard to with Paul whittering on. No, we joke. We love Paul.
He done me a
bits.
favour, to be fair, because it give me a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, a little bit of a week off for you.
Yeah.
How nice, you had a little holiday. But no, we absolutely love Paul. It was so great to have him back on. Thank you for all of those who tuned in and enjoyed the episode, I suppose. But yeah, we were desperate to talk about the 92.2, but we thought we'd save it this week so we could be Porsche nerds.
Yeah.
And deep dive. So
Because we don't talk about Porsches very often on here.
no, I think it's the one brand that we should talk about more. So, straight in, what was your initial reaction when you saw/heard the news about the new 992.2, the official news?
Well, I missed it straight away.
Oh, great.
I don't know.
Came out of
Oh,
nowhere.
yeah. And I didn't get it till the evening. I actually saw your post or someone else's post and thought, oh, it has actually come out.
Yeah. Oh, it's out.
It's out. Yeah. So I watched the official Porsche video.
This
obviously.
is the 992.2.
Yeah.
I love their accents in that video.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I'm going to get to the German accent. It's a weird fetish I just revealed. But the German accent, just does something for me.
You like German women, don't you?
Well, hold on a sec. I'm a married man, Tony. But in a
But they do
previous
something for
life,
you, don't they? Yeah.
before I fell madly in love with my wife, who is everything I need in life from a woman, before I met her,
She like-
yes,
so
the
you like-
German accent was something I did.
Like hairy
Yeah.
armpits and beards on women. Sorry, any German women. It's only a joke. You can say that about French women as well.
Yeah, okay. Sure, let's move on.
Yeah.
Not that we've got much of a
So
female
anyway,
demographic.
so I had a-
so 992.2.
Yeah, so I had a lovely look at it. I didn't really get too much from it. They made a big fuss about it being hybrid when it's an MHEV as far as I'm concerned. It's got an E. It's got a tiny little. It's no different to. I think the setup's not really a great deal difference to an MHEV on a BMW, right?
No, it's very different.
Do you think?
Yeah. We'll get into it. But this is why I'm fascinated. This is why I want to know your reaction.
Because of the E turbo. So that was the thing that I really got from it was about the E turbo and it filling in the gaps and it being another 50 horsepower. Mate, if I'm not interested in something, I scroll.
I know you do. I know, but that's why I'm so intrigued.
Yeah. So there's probably bits I missed out. I then watched the Top Gear video as well.
Ollie Q, I think, did the Top Gear one.
Yeah. I quite like watching the Top Gear stuff.
I mean, Top Gear just smashing. Now that the TV budget's gone, I mean, they're just killing it.
And their internet, they are good.
Were you about to call it their internet videos?
No, but it's a digital platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's
internet.
Videos on internet.
Internet, yeah. But that's where it's from, though.
Yeah, but 2024 is like their digital media or their online output or their social media content. It'd be like, their stuff on the internet is quite good. Showing your age a bit there.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And I wouldn't even. It's only because I do this. I wouldn't have even bothered watching it.
No, fine.
It's only because I do
you
this.
You knew we were going to talk about it.
I thought I better watch it. But yeah, the thing that I really took from it was the tech in the E-Turbo. I'm sure there's a lot more to it, and I know there's a smaller battery in the front, obviously. But it's not like a traditional hybrid. I mean, they make a big fuss that it's a full-on hybrid, but it's not the traditional hybrid that we know, right? It's not It's not a self-charging one, or it's not a plug-in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think you're totally right. I mean, for sure, the hype and the rumor mill. Firstly, well, no, I don't think it made a bigger deal about this than it has turned out to be, or whether people were. Long story short, you're right. The car that actually launched, the GTS T Hybrid, I think is a very different hybrid 911 than we were all expecting.
Yeah.
I think we were all like, oh my God, it's going to be so heavy and it's self-charging. Because I think we should get into it a little bit more in this episode. Hybrid now, I think, is really leading the way in terms of short-term future powertrains.
And you know what? It is so funny you should say that as well, because literally, I got in a cab this morning.
Yeah.
It was a new Tesla Y.
Sure.
Just briefly. And the guy I was talking to him, and he was really, really nice guy, really honest. He said, yeah, it's good brand town on the motor, all the stuff that we've always said, but an actual owner that's telling the truth. And then he said, he literally said, I'm going to get a hybrid next. And that's a normal consumer, because he said he thinks that's the way to go. And I said, yeah, I agree. I said, they'll improve the technology where it'll be a bigger battery that does more in electric range, and then there's an engine to back up when you need it.
Well, I think what's fascinating is what Porsche have done here is use some form of battery technology, electric motors, to assist in performance and nothing else. I mean, it's a hybrid purely for performance benefit, not for emissions or economy.
A little bit like a LAF.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. If you look back at LAF P1 or 918, the technology was there to aid performance.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we're seeing now in a lot of cars, and as I say, this is kind of topic around it. Could this be a short-term way to aid in emissions and all these kind of things? Yeah, we're seeing it way more that the battery and the generators and the motors are all there to aid with fuel economy.
And
emissions.
Yeah, the only difference, obviously, with the LAF and the other two could run on pure electric, whereas the LAF wouldn't, would it?
I think it did. I think there was a software update, because it used to do reverse, obviously it was an electric.
That's right.
But there was something where you now see clips of LAFs moving around in electric mode. So I think there must have been a software update.
Not when they
at some
produced
point.
it though, right?
No, not when it first came out, but I think maybe it's like a valet mode or a technician mode, but there's definitely clips you see now of LAFs moving on pure electric.
Right, okay.
But yeah, so from what I understand, and of course, people please in the comment section, anything that we're kind of misunderstanding or getting wrong, let us know. But from what I understand, yes, there's sort of two electric motors powered by one fairly small, actually sort of dinky battery.
Yeah.
And the electric motors are firstly in the PDK gearbox, that we need to look at in 2 seconds. And then secondly, yes, attached to or powering the turbo, which means that you get this instant spool.
Yeah.
So literally there's apparently, turbo lag has been eradicated or eradicated, as the Germans like to say. And so if you look, did you see the graph for the power delivery on this GTS?
No.
It's terrifying. I actually think it might be too much. So the traditional linear graph of the old 3-liter twin turbo, acceleration is kind of, say fairly linear.
Yeah.
On the new one, it just goes straight up like a table.
Yeah.
And then peters off a tiny bit. But then, it's so aggressive that I think the acceleration of that GTS is going to be mind-boggling.
But that is literally what we see with electric cars, isn't it?
Well, this is the thing, but that's what's so fascinating is this is not a hybrid as we've come to know it.
As we know it, yeah.
As you mentioned, no ability to charge, what's called plug-in charge. And then also no e-driving mode. Also, as Porsche come out and say, it doesn't aid with emissions and it really doesn't affect MPG.
No.
It is purely as a way to get the maximum performance, to get the benefits of electricity or batteries or electric motors within a car to aid in that performance. So you say 50 odd horsepower from the one with the turbo, and then I think it's like a 15 horsepower from the PDK motor as well. And that one's the weird one for me, right? So because it's been so long since I've driven a standard, is it a 7 or 8 speed in the outgoing 992 PDK? Because the GT3 is 7, right?
Yeah. It's an 8-speed, and I don't think it's a PDK, mate. I think it's a ZF box. It's not a PDK.
No, in the standard 992 GTS.
Is it a 8-speed? Is it a PDK or is it just a
A
normal
million
automatic?
percent PDK.
Is it?
Yeah,
It's definitely an 8-speed, 100%.
Yeah, okay, so it's an 8-speed. Okay, fine. So they do say it's all new, which it has to be because it incorporates, this motor in the housing. Now, I don't believe Porsche will open up a PDK gearbox. I think if you have an issue, it's an in and out job. It's a warranty.
Unit
gets
change.
Replaced. Unit change.
Yeah. But I think that's manufacturers in general, mate. They literally just unit change.
Fair.
Yeah, that's what they do.
So what happens? So if the electric motor has an issue, then it's still a unit change, even if the gearbox is solid.
Yeah, I mean, what will happen is from a manufacturer point of view, even when the car falls out of warranty, it will be a unit change. There'll be specialists out there that say, no, we can fix that and we'll repair it. But in general, even now on a normal combustion, they don't repair or fix because they're flying the flag.
Sure.
They literally just in and out.
In and out.
Yeah.
For me, that was like, that sounds like it's gonna be expensive in general.
What about the battery, by the way? Because the battery that assists all this, that's going to go at some point. That's going to need changing.
Tiny. It's a tiny little battery. I can't remember what the actual.
Fortune.
Do you think it'll be? Yeah, but that's a warranted part though.
Not when it's out of warranty. It's not.
But do you not think there'll be an extended? You don't think so?
I don't think so.
What will that warranty be then?
What will it be? A standard 3 or 4 year warranty? I would have thought. I don't think they'll cover it for 10 years or nothing like that because it's tiny. I don't think it's not like a normal height, like Toyota, they covered the hybrid for a longer period of 10 years or whatever it is. I don't think Porsche will do that. I think, they'll just associate that as a normal battery.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it'll be $1,000 or 1,500 quid to replace it. It will need replacement.
1.9 kilowatt battery.
Yeah. It's not, I don't think,
it's accessible. Have you seen where it is?
Yeah, right at the front.
Right at the front, yeah.
Where the normal battery used to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the normal battery is now.
They've definitely made that there for a reason, haven't they?
Because it's easy to change.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Because weight-wise, you wouldn't want it right up there. I mean, I know it's near the bulkhead, so it's like centre, but you'd want it lower, wouldn't you?
No, in a 911, that is where you want it. 'Cause there's no weight on the front. All the weight's at the back, so they try and put as much weight as they can at the front.
But you wouldn't want it lower down, you don't think? You wouldn't want it, because most times in the hybrids and all EVs, you find them on the floor. Batteries are on the floor. I know it's small, but
yeah, but this isn't a traditional hybrid or EV, is it?
No.
It's a car, mate, that's got assisted electric to power it.
And that's the thing. So therefore, is the hybrid thing, is that just us not misunderstanding, but just the hype? That was the hype was wrong place, because you're right. Sorry, my microphone's all over the place today, so I keep moving it. Apologies.
Somebody made it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm fiddling with it nonstop. Sorry if you had some weird. That was me trying to move the microphone. But do you think I don't. You're right. Porsche made a big deal about the hybrid thing in the video. The hybrid, this revolutionary e-turbo or whatever. So they did make a big deal.
Because when someone says to me hybrid, I think, rechargeable or plug in. And that's the bit I didn't. That's why I said to you at the start, it's like a revolutionary MHEV as far as I'm concerned. You know,
Yeah,
I know
'cause
there's
it-
a bit more tech in it.
It regens the battery off the brakes still and the exhaust gases, right?
Yeah.
As you would, I mean, as my Panamera can.
Yeah.
And so my Panamera obviously is an E-hybrid. They're calling this a T-hybrid.
Yeah.
But I think whilst you're right, it's not what we expected and it's different and it's unique, and you saying, oh, you don't really get the point, it's revolutionary. I actually do find it fascinating because this is the whole point. This is the whole thing of like the future, right? As we've said from day one on this podcast, and I'm sorry to fly the flag for this bit, the future is going to be a multiple solution
Absolutely.
answer. Like that is how we're going to get there.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
all of this whole EV versus combustion, and bloody hell, we know it in the comment section of this podcast. Everyone is vitriolic about whatever solution they think is the
Yeah.
right way to go. But we have long said it is going to be multiple different solutions.
Absolutely.
And this is one which we hadn't really seen or considered before. Now, look, it's probably because it's not actually that good for the future of the planet in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't aid in emissions or fuel economy. But it is hybrid technology at performance, which I think has to be interesting for us petrolheads and enthusiasts. And let's face it, that six-cylinder from Porsche, I mean, it's pretty fuel effective anyway. I mean, the emissions on it are pretty damn good anyway.
Yeah.
As we've seen, they're still doing the standard turbocharged, twin turbocharged engine in the 911 Carrera. And that still meets all the regulations it needs to for the EU.
Yeah.
So it's already tick.
Yep.
And that's got to be in good place to what? 2028, 27, 2028?
At least.
So that, that's a future-proofed engine right there without the hybrid tech.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wasn't disappointed. I was interested. I was like, okay, this is a different form of hybrid.
Fair. I was interested, but also it's, again, genius Porsche marketing where they kind of over-talk and overhype stuff to sell cars. Do you know what I mean? And I think that because they really talked up as this being this new revolutionary hybrid, and it is probably new technology or newish
I
technology.
think the turbo tech is new. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
I will give them that credit. But sorry, continue.
Yeah. But it's not like complete revolutionary. It's not technology we haven't seen before. They've just made it better. Essentially, with the E, because it's new technology, they've made an MHEV better for performance. Because I think it's like a better MHEV. That's what I would consider it as.
As a concept, I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I think the E-Turbo is revolutionary, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone, I don't
agree.
think even in
Yeah,
Formula One they don't do it, I don't think.
No,
I think
no.
In Top Gear, in the Top Gear piece, that's what Ollie said, even the F1 teams aren't using this kind of technology yet.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But that's what I mean. It's like a modernised, better MHEV, essentially. And we are probably going to see manufacturers for performance maybe copy that going forward. There will be. But we have already had, like, clever gearbox stuff, like with the Rev Welto and stuff. So that's not revolutionary. I bet Porsche have nicked that from Lambo, or Porsche give it to Lambo in the first place, because that's in the Rev Welto, right?
Yeah. The
Fill the gaps.
motor, but I think the motor is in the gearbox, actually. I thought
Yeah.
it was attached to, but you're right, actually. You're totally right. It is in
fills
the
the gap.
gearbox. Yeah.
Yeah. So that bit's not new. Listen, they're gonna, obviously, because of the way that Porsche market stuff, and they reference the Nürburgring times as well, and they always do. It's 8 or 9 seconds faster than the previous car, and blah 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 blah. Fair play, good job, well done. But as we said before, 8 or 9 seconds round there is not really that fast, because it's an 8-minute lap.
Yeah. And let's not forget, yes, it's 50 kilos heavier in general, and that's with them removing rear seats and a few other bits and bobs. So, the new generation always has to be better than the old one.
Absolutely.
They can't bring out a dot 2 and say, oh, yeah, it's only a second quicker. And they're going to try their best to market it so that we all go, oh, we really want one.
Yeah.
So that I don't blame them for.
Yeah.
Every manufacturer in the world has to make a huge deal about their new cars.
Absolutely. And Porsche is just the best at it.
And Porsche are very good at it.
Unbelievable at it.
I think
Maybe Ferrari a bit better, but apart from that.
Well, the two things that I question, so the dot 2s from Porsche are always super chill. I mean, they're headlights. Yeah. They're always very little. They're just
Bumpers.
facelifts. They're mid-life cycle. What are those things called?
Midlife cycle, yeah.
Yeah, midlife cycle updates or whatever it is. So it's just the fact that this hybrid technology is being introduced that has made it seem like a bigger deal than it is. If you look back to 991.1, 991.2, 996.1, 996.2, there's always this little minor, small things.
And they always get a 20 horsepower upgrade normally, but this has just got 50.
This has got 50, and it's and a new technology which will change the drivability. So look, I don't knock them at all for making a big deal out of it. I think it's really interesting when you look at Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren are going the more traditional hybrid route, e-drive modes, ability to plug in charge, bigger batteries, that Porsche have gone in a different direction for their first attempt at a hybrid.
But I think they're just eking it out, mate. They will go down that traditional route. I think they're just like literally just biding their time. They will go down that route.
So do you think the next generation, whatever it's going to be called, not the 992, we could say it's the 993, but if you're not a Porsche nerd, there's already been a 993. So whatever it's going to be, you think that will potentially be maybe a full electric version and a more traditional plug-in hybrid?
I'm not sure whether it could be, but I'm not sure initially they'll do a full electric version. I think maybe a proper hybrid. And of course, we already know that, the GT cars will not be hybrid. I've heard some voices and murmurs over the last couple of weeks that, the next GT3 and the next GT3 RS will definitely be hybrid. I don't think so at all. I think they'll stay NA, them cars, for sure.
The long rumour always was that, and it's so far matching up, Carrera and Carrera T will be not naturally aspirated, but non-hybridized.
Yeah.
And then Carrera S, GTS, Turbo and Turbo S will be hybridized. GT3, GT3 RS, naturally aspirated. GT2 RS, turbo hybrid.
Yeah.
That was always the rumor.
Yeah, fair. And that makes sense.
At the minute it's lining up.
Yeah, it is lining up. And as well, what I also thought was interesting, it's very unusual for Porsche to launch a GTS straight away. They normally do it at the end. So that comes at the end, and then the GT cars come after. So there's still an S and a 4S to come. So what are they going to have in them? Is it the same tech but just a little bit less power? Because in general, that's normally what it is. You'd have an S, you'd have a standard car, you'd have an S and a 4S, and then you'd have a T somewhere in there towards the end, which is just lightweight. And then you'd have a GTS, which is basically the same, just a bit more power.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think it's, again, clever marketing here. Firstly, I always heard that they were launching it on the turbo.
Yeah.
That was what I always heard, that the first hybridized 911 was going to be launched on the turbo.
Proper hybrid. Plug-in.
No. Any hybrid variant.
Okay.
So what we've just got now I always heard was going to be launched on the turbo.
Right.
And then we're going to get the variants. I think what Porsche have done here is introduce this new technology, but go to the purists and the enthusiasts who are like a big core audience for them. Don't worry. There's still a non-hybridized car for you. Because to launch them alongside, say, look, we're doing both. We're doing both. Don't panic, everyone. This is not everything. And it's almost like they're slightly testing the waters a little bit.
Yeah, you said that to me last week.
By showcasing, like, this is what the hybridized tech can be. In the GDS, this is the driver's car. Look at the performance, look at the power. Yeah. So that when the future ones come, go, okay, I get that one. I get where it lies out now. And when the Turbo S is 750 horsepower, whatever ridiculousness it's going to be.
I think that's definitely coming.
Yeah,
stupid.
People will understand the technology a bit more, because also, let's not forget, you can't have a manual variant of this electric PDK, this hybridized PDK. So the only manual 911 will still be the Carrera T, which sits alongside the 911 Carrera.
Yeah.
So that makes sense as to why then the S, GTS, Turbo S will all be hybridized.
Yeah.
So I think they did it because if they'd launched the 992.2 with just the Carrera, it's not enough of an update, not enough of a change, and everyone had been rooming this hybrid thing. I think people would have gone like, I thought it was going hybrid. What's happened?
Yeah.
If they'd launched the hybrid as Carrera and Carrera S, I think people would have been like, well, it's not enough. Like, so what, you've done all this hybrid technology for what, 20 horsepower more?
And quite a big uplift in price as well. I think
eight or 9 grand.
£9,000 start, obviously. So when you spec for spec, they're 20 grand more, basically, from the previous car.
Interesting, because the options go up as well.
Of course.
Fine. Okay. So
I've even noticed with my Porsche, my GT car, that the parts have gone up since last year.
Wow.
Because I had a set of pads in it last year. I'm just about to put a new set in. They've gone up like £250 from last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're the world.
Yeah.
What can we do? But yeah, so I think that's the strategy that I read.
Mm.
They did it because, they wanted to, make the hybrid technology impressive without revealing the Turbo or the Turbo S.
Yeah.
Still reassure people that there was a more traditional setup available. Because all the other changes are minor. They're ones that, oh my God, my Porsche groups were triggered.
Were they?
Oh, mate.
All filing in.
Literally, the start-stop button.
Yeah.
People, I had like 45 unread WhatsApp messages.
What is this?
Literally made
Yeah,
people
yeah.
raging. I don't even recognize this brand anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I was quite upset about it as well because I've always liked the turnkey and it does look, I think, cheap. But until you've got in and pushed it, let's not get a bit carried away. And also,
yeah.
it's the way to start the car. Like,
Yeah. I'll
like
tell
me-
you what. I'll tell you what I did notice about the video as well. That was really prominent was the noise of the car. I know it's a little bit to pick up over a camera, but I know we see this because it's the way of the world now. But it was very muted and very pumped into the car from what I could see here.
So that everyone knows from, well, not just this year, I think 25 and 27 are the two that will mean that all cars cease to have any external noise. It is genuinely, we will not have exhaust noise
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah.
All
From
new cars.
manufacturer.
This is, and EU, but also US and around the world. And this is a manufacturing that hands are being tied and it's to do with emissions. It is near on impossible to get a car to sound good from the outside.
Yeah.
So it will all be either pumped in or synthetically created in the cabin.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear it more and more and more. But I actually think a lot of media, and I'll put myself into that grim category, will comment about it less because it's less of a surprise.
Yeah.
Any new car you get in now will sound atrocious
Muted
from the
yeah.
outside. Not just muted, but atrocious.
Yeah.
And then it will all be on the inside, which at the end of the day is what it's all about.
Yeah.
You're the one driving. It's got to sound good when you're driving.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you tell your mate to go and do a flyby and you're standing outside, prepared to be disappointed.
Just gonna get a whoosh.
Yeah, or if you go to Cars and Coffee, because everything's going to.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. But
Quite like a. I'm quite happy about that.
I don't really care. I mean, I do care because I've got Ciao Stradale, but I say as long as it sounds good inside,
Yeah.
I'm not that fussed.
Yeah.
So look, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, there are a few bits that I don't love. I don't love the fact that it's now a fully digital dash. What's it called?
Like virtual cockpit.
Virtual cockpit, so the analog rev counter's gone. But, these will, and it's just change. We get used to these things. I'm not going to get that upset by it. I know plenty of purists and enthusiasts who look at a 992 and go, what a disaster.
Yeah.
And I love my car. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here tirading a 992.2 be like, it's not even a Porsche anymore. 'Cause
Yeah.
it is. And it will
Yeah,
be very
of
good.
course. And like that's the main thing. What does it drive like?
Yeah.
You know.
And it will be great because
course.
Porsche don't seem
They
to get
always
it
are.
wrong that much. But yeah, there's at the same time, there's not enough yet to make me go, oh, I'll call Guildford and get an order in.
No.
It's nice.
And the tech inside, it's all going to be shared, mate, with the normal stuff because let's say they save costs.
Of course,
so they're going to
yeah.
put
Makes
the
sense.
Taycan and it's all the same.
Anyway, let's move on.
Swiftly on.
Swiftly on.
Yeah.
Obviously, I revealed the Panamera on the main channel now.
Lovely.
Video went out, so people have seen that. If you haven't, head over to Seeing Through Glass. You can see the full spec reveal. That video went live at Sunday lunchtime. Sunday afternoon.
Flying.
Sunday afternoon, I got a text from a neighbour.
Yeah.
Great guy, car guy, into his car. He's got 993 Cabriolet.
Oh yeah.
Hey Sam, and I thought he was going to say, "Congrats on the Panamera, love it. What a car!" He's a Porsche guy, car guy. He said, "My daughter's starting to learn to drive again in the Beetle because they got a Beetle." Oh, great.
An old Beetle.
No, like a 2000 and whatever.
Okay, fine.
Starting to learn.
The latest gen, although they don't make them anymore.
And I thought he was going to be like, can you give us some lessons or whatever? She was manoeuvring on the driveway.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, she drove into the back of the Panamera.
Probably improved it.
Don't be an ass. So, yeah, she hasn't taken a chunk out the back,
Right.
but needs
Right.
to go to a body shop.
So you spent all them weeks saying my wife's not going to drive this car in case she damages it,
Yeah,
and someone's damaged it without her even driving
the
it.
18-year-old daughter drove into the back of it.
Yeah.
Yes, fair, and you can imagine my wife laughed in my face.
Yeah,
with it, sympathetically. I had to be the bigger man, being now a father, having a daughter, but also just being like, what am I going to do? Like rage and just go and abuse an 18-year-old girl, being like, learn to drive. So I said, no problem. I said, like, let's figure it out. And it's, I say it's a bit sad. I've had the car for 6 weeks. I've just revealed it on the channel. And it's not got a chunk out of the bumper. I'll show it to you afterwards. It's got a big scratch. But it needs to be repainted. Do you have a body shop here?
Yeah, right there.
Can we get it quoted up?
Yeah.
Because it just need,
Yeah.
just a little, whoop,
Yeah,
whoop, whoop.
yeah. Well, there's two ways you can do it. You can have it locally repaired, or you can have it done properly at a body shop. You might as well have it done properly.
Yeah, of course I want to get that. It's a Porsche, mate. I'll get it done properly.
Yeah. It's an old one, though.
Have a look and see what you think. 2018 is not that old. Have a look and see what you think. What about the black plastic bit? Is that
To replace it.
you have to replace the whole thing?
Won't
That
be a lot
sounds
of money, though.
no,
No.
it's just a bit scuffed, and I want it to look fresh.
Yeah, you want it to look how it was.
I want to look at. I want to
Absolutely,
look fresh. Anyway, he's been totally fine. So. But it was just one of those moments. I say, unveiled the car on YouTube. You said the video was doing very well. So thank you all to those that watched it. Instagram post was doing very well. So this is lovely. What a lovely Sunday evening.
Yeah.
And then, nope. Car's dead. But I am still loving it, mate. I'm genuinely still loving it. All of your crap chat about...
I haven't said anything bad about that car at all.
BS. Absolute BS. You slagged off when I bought it saying, what awful fuel economy. Oh, the batteries all die. Yep. All on camera. All on camera.
No.
Yes, mate.
I was nice about that.
No, you weren't. Off camera, you were very nice.
Was I?
On camera, you were a prick. But on the way
Sounds
here,
like me.
for the first time, thanks to M25 morning traffic, I got into the 40s MPG.
Well done.
Hello.
But that's because it's basically from your house round to me. It's 50-mile-an-hour zones because
50 mile an hour zone, a bit of traffic.
loads of traffic.
I was cruising and I had I'd charged the batteries 3/4 of the way. So I crept out of town in battery and then got in the motor and cruised at 50.
Yeah.
So I was
Hybrid's the way forward, mate.
Mate, so
Very good car, that car. I think I might have another one.
See, now that you've seen that the internet likes you, I'm like, better fall in line here because they'll all turn against me. If I keep being old about this car, they'll turn against
the
me.
least I care about is the internet turning against me. I think it's happened so many times. I couldn't give a
I
toss.
don't think the internet's ever turned to you.
No.
They've just always been against
It's
you.
always trying to beat me up.
But yeah, let's just get into that a bit more because I say it's a bit of a thick episode, this, in terms of the hybrid tech and chat. But you sent me an article, let's bring it up now, about sort of hybrid futures. And we've just talked about 992.2.
Yeah.
I'm obviously living with a 2018 hybrid, which is, if we think about it, that's pretty early tech. A lot of people were saying, oh, is there a real benefit to having a hybrid? Like some of the MPG figures you talked about, the weight gain, like what are you actually gaining here? You should have just bought a combustion version.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I wanted the hybrid just because I enjoy being able to creep around town in the email. Like I listed my reasons for wanting it. But it's also early tech. That's 918 tech essentially in my Panamera. And it was there sort of to aid performance, not really for emissions, just to give you the ability to cruise around an email.
But it does give you emo and it does regenerate through the brakes and stuff, right?
Yeah. And then here we go. So, no surprise, it's the Japanese manufacturers, but Mazda, Subaru, and Toyota have confirmed they're all working on next-gen combustion engines. Japanese car makers say that life can't be all battery electric and no e-fuel fun.
I think they've been listening to us.
Well, but they're talking about here, so the Mazda, Subaru, and Toyota have collectively announced a plan to work on a new generation of their signature combustion engines in a bid to create next-gen powertrains that will work better with electric motors, batteries, and carbon-neutral fuels.
Yeah.
So essentially, as you say, pointing heavily towards hybrids. How can we exploit the combustion engine or improve the combustion engine to be the best hybridized version?
Yeah.
Which I think is fascinating. And, the Japanese for a while have kind of come out saying, like, look, they're not convinced EVs, traditional battery electric vehicles, are the ultimate solution.
Yeah.
Now, you could say, oh, well, who cares about Japan? But we kind of have to because they
it's
have
huge in terms of emissions.
Well, no, but it's not just. Automotively,
Yeah.
Toyota, are they still the?
If they're not the biggest, they're number 2.
Yeah, in terms of manufacturers,
They're there
globally.
or thereabouts. Yeah.
Biggest. Go on.
As single manufacturer, they're definitely the biggest, but I think Volkswagen, Audi group as a group are slightly bigger. But it's minimal, mate.
It's right. You're right. I think it's VW first.
Yeah.
Followed so closely by Toyota.
But
the automotive, which so Volkswagen only overtook Toyota in 2022.
But that's only because of the amount of different manufacturers they have under their umbrella as a group.
You're right, because they just keep buying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if as a standalone company,
Oh my God, mate. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
it's all right, mate.
There's 14 billion in it. That's it. VW revenue 284 billion, Toyota 270 billion. Third place, Stellantis 181.
Yeah,
Nearly
which
100
is
billion less.
Peugeot. Is that right?
Oh,
Peugeot's-
yeah, Alfa Romeo,
Yeah,
like
it's all that.
Fiat,
yeah.
the whole lot.
Vauxhall,
So it
the
was
lot.
FCA and what was
Peugeot.
PSA?
Yeah, PSA. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
Group.
Yeah. And Vauxhall now, obviously. Vauxhall
Yes.
Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Toyota, as a single, as you say, manufacturer, are rivaling VW and nearly double Stellantis. I mean, it's
Yeah.
insane. So we do have to listen to what they're talking about,
Of
Japanese.
course.
And I think a lot of people go, oh, they're haters. But I think it's interesting. I think it's fascinating. And if you look at what hybrid could mean, there are so many variations. That's what excites me. That's what interests me, right? Because you've got, firstly, motorsport pushing in that direction, Formula One, endurance, etc., etc.
F1 for 10 years, mate.
Yeah, and have
Like literally 10 years. Small engine, battery assisted.
and it's interesting that more and more manufacturers are looking to get involved with F1 on the back of that, and with now hopefully carbon neutral fuels coming in
Yep.
imminently.
Yep.
And motorsport has always been a great test bed for road cars, and that technology has always led its way down. So there's a reason why that's happening. I know a lot of manufacturers are also involved in Formula E, but fair enough. That I don't think always translates to road car.
No. And I think the manufacturers obviously made the EVs to the extent they did because of the government's putting pressure on them.
Sure.
I don't think if they didn't have the pressure, I think they would have carried on the same path,
But also you-
essentially.
Don't forget, you can have hydrogen hybrid. Hydrogen combustion. I mean,
Toyota do it.
hydrogen electric is exactly that. We're already looking at a HEV. Would it be called an HEV?
I
Hydrogen
can't
electric vehicle?
work it out. It's all these different words and letters. I can't.
But a hydrogen hybrid could be interesting, and I think it allows so much more creativity.
Yeah.
And is it ingenuity?
Yeah.
And that's where the automotive industry has always been leaps and bounds amongst others. Is the ingenuity?
What's that Chinese manufacturer? Is it BVD? What's that?
BYD.
BYD. So, not going off topic, but I saw that they've just manufactured a bus, an electric bus, that because obviously there's a lot of electric buses on the road now, and they'll do anything between 100 and 200 mile range, roughly. There's a new one coming that's 300 miles. Now that's huge for a big
for a bus.
and it's
Build
that,
your dreams. is
yeah,
it? BYD.
BYD, yeah.
Build
I saw
your
that
dreams.
post. Saw that post the other day. 300 to 400 miles.
Alexander Dennis, the UK's largest bus and coach manufacturer, is
Yeah.
going to partner with BYD. Oh no, they're owned by BYD. So I'm saying, you said it's going to have a new double-decker EV.
Yeah. So the reason why I mentioned that is obviously
Used to be a bus driver.
no. That's been the hard technology to master with lorries and buses and stuff because of how heavy everything is. But they've got there's some new technology in there.
The new BYD BD11 double-decker bus, which is tipped to replace London's slightly controversial Routemaster,
Yeah.
has a maximum range of more than 400 miles.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. When you think that the ones that are out now are 1 to 200. So that, sticking up for EVs here, that is that technology going to filter down to the cars?
It has to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing is, so it has a total capacity of up to 532 kilowatts. The benefit of a bus or of a what's called heavy goods vehicle
HGV, yeah.
is the weight's doesn't matter so much. Do you know what I mean? If we're looking at road cars and performance, you can fit a massive, huge, insane battery on a bus.
You could.
Because you
Or a
don't
lorry.
need to, on a lorry, because you don't necessarily need to think of the same kind of performance. When I was at testing grounds at Millbrook the other day, there was 2 electric lorries, HGVs.
Were there?
Yeah, doing
Yeah.
test routes and
Yeah.
kind of wacky. But they can just have these absolutely just, pack the batteries high, as they say.
Because if they're 40 ton, they can be 50 ton.
Yeah.
Because that's basically, that's what they are, the HGVs essentially. So
But still, I mean, that is pretty good going. If there's a bus with 400 miles.
that's what I'm saying. So will that, because there isn't a car at the moment that they claim
It's coming. I mean, it's coming.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I do think these. Oh, just to fly a Porsche flag because we haven't done so for a while. I think the new gen Macan and Taycan are pretty good. I think that latest Tesla Model 3 extended, the ranges are getting up there, 350 plus.
Yeah, but they start, but then they're not. They quote that, don't they? And they don't quite get there, do they? You're always 20 to 40 miles off what they say.
Do you think the ultimate solution for everyday cars will literally be almost generator level combustion engines attached to electric vehicles? Or do you think it will literally be hybridized in the sense where you're going to have a 1.5 litre, like it's going to be a share?
I think what a good scenario would be now, talking today, I might not have said this 2 years ago because obviously the tech was not quite advanced, but definitely for cities, as we've said, there's nothing wrong with an EV. For the cities and the local stuff, because a lot of people do not loads and loads of miles, so it's fine as long as you can charge it at home, by the way, and not be ripped off by the chargers that are in the network, because it's no cheaper than it is really to pay for a combustion car. So where's the benefit? But the generator thing is very interesting. I always thought about having a really small type engine to assist a full electric and get you out of stuck. You know, when you got to go on a long distance.
So would you like to, I'm not saying what do you predict, would you like to see or be prepared to see a car that 90% of the time, or let's say 75% of the time, you're driving in E mode, electric mode, where the engine only kicks in emergency situations or from a sort of regen deal? That you'll be happy with that. That's a route that you think
for
is
an
good.
everyday car, as long as it makes sense in terms of values wise and charging wise and all of them things, and it's cost effective compared to a combustion car, makes complete sense, because your emissions are going to be 75-80% less than what they are now. And then obviously for the performance stuff, there's no reason why they can't go like full on hybrid, like an F1 car.
What do you mean by full on hybrid versus what I just said? So you mean a more dominant combustion engine?
Yeah.
So everyday stuff, it would be like an 80-20, 80% electric, 20% engine, where you could have a performance car would be 80% engine, 20% electric. Totally agree. I'm with you there. But where does that leave you in terms of your question marks over battery costs, reuse of vehicles? Because as hybrid technology moves forward, if that's the route you think you should push people in, you're still going to be left with that same issue that you've had, which is replacement of batteries, maintenance, warranties, and things like that.
Well, use Toyota as an example. They've been using hybrid forever in the Prius and all that, them sort of cars. I've never, ever heard of anyone replacing a battery on one. So the tech's obviously there. You know, there might be an odd scenario where you have to replace a battery, but there's an odd scenario on a combustion engine where you have to replace an engine. But in general, they're as good as gold. So, but a normal EV, because it only relies on battery and conditioning, like a mobile phone, how you charge it, when you charge it, the speed that you put the charger in, obviously it has a lower lifespan for that reason. Whereas a hybrid is having a constant trickle. So probably the lifespan is longer for that reason.
Yeah, potentially. I think obviously the technology is very, very different. I think obviously we're not in a place yet where we know the future of these. We've seen a few things like e-tron GTs and Taycans having to have replacement batteries early in their life, but we don't know those exact situations. We don't know why. We know with a lot of manufacturers for ICE combustion engine vehicles, they have recalls, they have engines being replaced. We had fires in 991.1 GT3s, 458s, Range Rovers. So you know, lots of things can go wrong. But I do think that if you were to slow down this governmental push to only EVs and allowed manufacturers to look into different ways to develop battery technology, hybrid situations, they would come up with solutions that would, make the batteries live longer, perform better for longer, have people in a situation where, yes, you can still put in maybe even a heavily neutralized fuel, because that's the other thing. At the moment, because of the lack of funding, because of the lack of infrastructure, it looks unlikely that we'll ever be in a situation where the whole world can switch to a carbon neutral or synthesized fuel.
No.
Such as, P1 fuels are working damn hard, but even if you gave them $3 trillion,
Yeah.
we would still probably only be able to just fill the UK, so...
That's the problem as well, because we're very heavily like EVs, this. But as we said before, we're a tiny percentage of the world. And if the rest of the world aren't doing it, then what are we doing it for?
Well, but the thing is, if you got to a point where at the moment in this country we're at E10 fuel, getting ready for E15, but if you can imagine a place where we're getting to E50, where 50% of the fuel at least is, less emitting, so that our overall emissions are low. So you reduce the emissions of the actual fuel, you reduce the emissions of the engine, and you find a better way to develop the battery technology. That feels like something we can all go, oh yeah.
We're nearly there.
As one part of global emissions, not always the biggest part, that feels like a quite clever way and something that could be quite fast-tracked. Every genius manufacturer in the world, you just employ and say, work on this technology.
Yeah.
You think we'd get to some very, very clean and future-proofed vehicles in a quicker time span than getting the world to adopt EVs and getting EVs to perform 500-mile ranges day in, day out with reliability and warranty.
I think they're doing it now, the manufacturers, because they're 5 years ahead of us least, by the way. Because of this switch to them pushing and combustion engines again now, and them all coming out and saying we're going to concentrate. Partly that will be because that there's still huge demands for combustions, because that's what they'll build. But like I said, they're 5 years ahead of us, mate. So I think they've sussed something out already.
Yeah, and
me personally,
I'm sure they are, and that's what always blows my mind is that we're seeing this 992.2 with the technology, and I'm sure the engineers are going, "Oh my god, can you imagine we did that Ian Turbo? That was so 5 years ago." Because they're like so ahead of it. They're looking back and going, that was so thick of us. Because they've obviously built the next gen 99 whatever or 911. So I that's the thing. I just feel like hybrid makes so much sense right now, and. In the market, what would you say? Who do you see making the good hybrids today? I really enjoyed that.
People that want to drive.
No.
In general.
So the new Range Rover Sport, for example,
right.
When I drove that, I thought that was a very good hybrid. What are the good hybrids on the market now? What are the good cars out there that you see coming through? You don't do a ton of hybrids, but some of the used stuff that comes through, what do you think? That's a good little car. That makes sense as a hybrid.
I don't think you could look past the Japanese because they've been doing it the longest.
They're the ones to go to.
I think if you want to, Toyota may be doing it for 20 years.
I think the BMW, the 530Es and stuff like that are all right. I think they're doing half good job.
The Germans do a good job. Mercedes and Audi are still, although they are kind of switched their stance, they're still very, very EV focused still, essentially, although they are starting to switch. So I don't think they do a fantastic hybrid. But obviously, if you want premium band, BMW would be one.
Good stuff.
Lexus.
Obviously. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing hybrid forever, which is owned by Toyota.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty of brands out there that have been doing it forever.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, no, I think it's one to watch. And I say, that alongside then electric buses and trucks and things like that. It just feels a little bit more, appropriate. So let us know your thoughts. Firstly, what was your reaction to the latest generation 911? Did you think it was a bit of a letdown? Do you think it's a good route to go, et cetera, et cetera? And then do you agree that hybrid is a route that actually we should be trying to motivate everyone to look into? Or are you thinking that we're wrong as per usual? You've got a better solution. But anyway, I feel like that brings an end to this week's episode. What are you going to be up to, mate? As I'm away for 10 days or so, what's on your agenda? You off anywhere? You off to do anything?
But I'm going to Nürburgring at the weekend again.
Oh, hello.
I need to fix my car.
Oh, what happened?
The Germans.
The Germans?
You must not drive the car on the Nordschleife.
Because you were too sideways?
No, because it needs some work, basically. The front bumper's not correct. The bumper's fine. It's the plastic underneath. It's all bent. And apparently it'll affect aerodynamics. And
wait, so who told you this?
Manti.
Oh, Manti.
Yeah, not just some bloke at the track.
Yeah. I thought you said like the police. I thought the police like, this is not correct, because where were we where that happened? No, Switzerland. Switzerland, if you have an aftermarket exhaust or you have some modifications, they'll pull you over and say, get it off.
Oh, wow.
Car has to be OEM.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Yeah, disaster.
Yeah. So I need brake pads again, obviously, which I'm getting done. So that was part of the reason. They've got these trick brake cooling ducts on the underneath. You can see them, and a bit of mine's broke off because I've hit a bump or something.
Clattered something.
I've clattered something at some point.
Basically, the underside of your car is destroyed.
Destroyed.
Before you've gone flat over a load of potholes.
Yeah, not potholes, but like crests
bumps in the
and
road,
stuff. Yeah. I've took off a few times. So basically, the Germans have obviously never seen a car in that state before.
No, Manti, can we say?
Manti.
Stop calling them the Germans. It's Manti.
Well, where are they from?
No, but the point being, you've gone to a company that literally spend their life track preparing Porsches, who are a Porsche race team.
Proper cars.
And they've gone, oh my God, his plastic trim is 2 millimeters out of place. I don't think if you parked up in the car park at what's the bar at the Nürburgring start of the Nordschleife, that little Devil's whatever.
Devil's Donner, yeah.
Yeah, if you park, I don't think all the Germans are going to go, oh my God, look at his lip.
Yeah. I think some of them would,
out.
mate. I think some of them would freak out.
You've just taken it to the most OCD Porsche Germans.
Anyway, they've done the setup, so I'm going out at the weekend. I'm going to put it back together, and I'm going to go round for the weekend because I might as well, because I've had to go anyway. I've got a bit of work to do out there. Last weekend, I didn't really do a lot, but very rewardingly, I started to teach my daughter how to ride a bike.
No way.
Mate, it was like, because my patience is not very...
Just pedal, you idiot.
And she was starting to get upset because she couldn't get it. She's getting very frustrated. And then she started to get it, and she was so pleased with herself. And do you know what? You're going to get this, obviously, when the time comes. It was one of the most rewarding things I've ever done.
That's amazing.
She's not quite got it yet. She needs another couple of goes. But when she actually pedalled off on her own, I thought, oh, actually, that's like...
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing, yeah.
And then you're going to be teaching her apexes and breaking points on the
teach her how
bicycle.
to crash.
Yeah, lunge people. Yeah. Oh, dude, congrats! That's a nice moment. That's a heartwarming story.
It was a heartwarming story. I didn't cry or anything, but I had a bit of a lump in my throat.
Don't worry. I didn't cry.
I don't cry.
Yeah. It's 2024. I'm like, man, I don't have emotions.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Tony. We didn't doubt it for a second.
Good.
Bravo. Well, anyway, I will see you then in
a couple of weeks.
Literally, actually, bang on, 2 weeks. Where we'll have a lot to talk about my various press drives and road trips. I think the S3 I'm quite intrigued by. I got to be honest. Artura Spider, I know what we're going to get, but I'll see what the new S3 is all about.
There's a new RS3 coming in a minute as
Any
well.
second,
yeah.
So we'll have some.
Sounds a bit fruity, by the way. Still.
Maybe they're cleverer with smaller engines. Or they've just done the Lambo technique and gone, we'll pay the fine.
We don't care. Yeah.
We'll just pay the fine.
Yeah.
So yes, make sure you stay tuned. As I say, next week there'll be a Rate My Ride episode, which we're about to go outside and record in a moment. And then we'll be back with you the following week, probably in the studio, I would imagine. And then we're getting to the hecticness that is British Grand Prix, Goodwood Festival of Speed. I mean, it's just going to be non-stop. I would assume, let's say this because 58 minutes episode.
Don't do it, mate.
I think when I'm back from my trip, we will launch the second trial BTG tour. There we go. I'm going to say it.
You put yourself under a bit of pressure.
Well, it's put you and I under pressure. So I'm going to say it. 20th of June.
Yeah.
Which is actually bang on because that is
about 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. A little teaser for you.
Yeah.
We will announce the second trial BTG tour and how to apply for a space or buy a space.
Or buy. Yeah.
Who knows?
Purchase.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye. See ya.